JBlog, February 16th, 2010. It is Wednesday. Usually I do these blogs on Sunday, but this Sunday was simply too busy and it didn't fit in. Um, and of course, the last 2 days have been quite exciting in the market, to say the least. I'm just looking at the S&P 500 here and continue to wonder what exactly this market is smoking. But a couple of days ago, well, of course, we had a long weekend, President's Day. And then on Tuesday, this big rally happened. And today is Wednesday, and a little rally happened here. I'm not totally sure what caused this big rally on Tuesday. There was no news that I could see that would justify a big run up like that. It happened on reduced volume, so I'm not sure how important it is in the bigger scheme of things. It certainly did not have a strong follow through today, but it had some follow through, which of course makes me sit back and take a look at what's going on. One thing, of course, that is happening is a potential topping out of the US dollar here, or was a potential topping out of the US dollar until recently. Um, but then, of course, that reversed again. So again, I'm not sure exactly what to make of this. The the spike happened across all groups. It was just a general um, enthusiasm, I suppose, um, of money heading back into the market. And as I said, I could not find any fundamental reason for it to happen. Um, a few things that I am, of course, also looking at is gold is once again on an increase here, even though it had a little bit of a drop today. The VIX is continuing to wear off again. So once again, risk is at a premium and caution is thrown to the wind. Copper, copper. The probably the real reason why this whole rally happened was the increase in the price of copper. China started stocking up on copper back in March, and copper supposedly is the metal with the PhD in economics. So everybody said, "Hey, copper is going up. Things must be getting better." And we've been running ever since. Copper had a substantial drop here back in January, and is rising again a little bit, but nowhere close to the highs that it had at the beginning of the year. Another one that I've been looking at is because the US dollar is such a yo-yo that doesn't seem to know where it wants to go. So sometimes it's helpful to look at things in currencies others than the US dollar. So in this case, I'm looking at gold and the euro. Um, and we have here 3 times this level provided resistance, and today gold, not even sure if that's today or yesterday. Anyways, gold has broken through this, which is quite significant. I This might once again be a point where gold goes higher. The other thing that I like to look at gold in is gold versus silver. Um, and this chart basically indicates gold. How many ounces of silver does it take to buy an ounce of gold? Now the way they come out of the ground is a ratio of about 1 to 16, somewhere around there. Right now they're trading at a ratio of 1 to 70, which is amazingly high. and therefore it is clear that silver is highly undervalued in relation to gold. Sooner or later, mean reversion should dictate that silver should be going quite a bit higher than it is at this point. It really is a discount. When you're looking through the ages, and this holds true for thousands of years basically, you could buy 1 day of labor, like a laborer for 1 day for an ounce of silver. Now obviously you cannot do that today, but this relationship has held for a very long time. Again, from that point of view, silver is very much undervalued, where the value of gold seems to be in line where it would have been historically, using many different statistics. Um, I like silver. I've always liked silver. It's a metal that has several properties besides being money. It also is an industrial metal, and it shows up in high tech. It is very important to high tech, much more so than gold. So that's interesting. As I said, this spike here, the Dow just the S&P 500, and actually every single market, if you're looking at the individual charts, they all have this bounce. It doesn't matter what it is, it all has the same bounce, which is basically futures buying. It's basically ETF buying. There's no individual stocks that are being bought. The whole thing is just being bought, probably via the futures. Um, I imagine um, here I've got the S&P 500, and we broke several trend lines. We broke this trend line, which goes back quite a ways. Then there was a secondary trend line which was broken as well, and then we just were at this last trend line that I could draw, this very last thing, and we broke that. We rallied up. That was that Friday, where we could have had a drop, and and we bounced off of this trend line, and now let's see what it does next. This trend line here started in the 2007 decline. We haven't broken through that yet, so we'll see how that goes. At this point, this might just be a short covering rally. It could very well be. I smell PPT all over this bounce. It just was too nicely placed to happen right at this point, and right on a Friday where it could have led to a Black Monday. So it just smells too much like government to be natural in my mind. But then, what do I know? So that's all I have for today. It's a wait and see. Of course, I am disappointed. A lot of my shorts, like SRS, have been blown to bits and pieces. FAZ had some. A lot of these things had some really nice uptrends in place, and they they have once again turned down. So we'll see. We'll see where that goes. Weird. It's not loading the next screen. Whatever. Anyways, that's all I have for today. It's a wait and see. I continue being short. Continue being bearish, just on fundamental reasons, but the market is certainly seems to be either in denial or it sees something that I don't. So we'll see how that goes. I'll leave you with this nice chart that I came across in one of the newsletters that I read, which is core retail sales for the last 20 years, and this was the shop when you drop era in late 2005, and looks pretty grim. So the consumer certainly isn't buying the shop till you drop anymore, and until that changes, I do not see a recovery. All the best this week and next week. Talk to you hopefully on Sunday. All the best. Bye.